psychological warfare. Cut it off. It's not happening. Haha. Nobody's laughing. I dropped it down for you. Pick it up. You can be getting gaslit for like decades of your life. Oh my God. I see you guys had a little drinky drink. No, it's not a Stanley. This is just like the cup from Target, I'm pretty sure. I would love to be a Stanley girly, but I don't know, it's just not for me. Anyway, welcome back to the Ladies Always Win podcast. I am Law, your host, Miss Ladies Always Win, and I'm so glad that you're here and you're back hanging out on a Wednesday. If you're watching on YouTube, hi, hey, hello, my name's Law. We do this podcast thing every Wednesday. You should subscribe, you know? Maybe give it a like, maybe give it a comment. I don't know. Especially if you've been watching, you definitely should subscribe by now. And if you're listening on audio, hey girl, hey. I just love to think that like I'm really just like in your headphones, like in your AirPods at work, in your speaker, in your car, like wherever you're listening from. Make sure you let me know on Instagram because I like to know like where is my voice right now for the people that are listening on audio. Ooh. Anyway, we have the hotline, of course. If you have not called in and you have a question about anything that we've talked about on the show so far, and maybe you just like want a little bit like more of an understanding. This hair is going to be like really annoying because I'm trying to get it to do that really cute like white girl layer flip where like a little bit's over the shoulder and like it's I think we got it. Oh my God, I think we got it. Now I have to just like not move the rest of the episode. What was I talking about? See, the hotline. Yeah, if you just have like a question about something that we've talked about before in more detail, or you have a specific situation that you're thinking about and you just want some knowledge, or you just want to like talk it out here on the show, call the hotline. We're here. And again, if you're listening on audio, or if you just have an iPhone, girl, even if you watch it on the YouTube app and you have an iPhone, that means that you have the podcast app. Feel free to just stop the video now, right? Stop the recording. Just go leave us a review. It really helps the show. It pushes it out to new listeners. And we want all the ladies to win. That's why it's an A in my name. Well, no. That's ladies always, but it's also like all the ladies win. You know what I mean? So we can't have all the ladies winning if we're not reviewing and sharing the show. Anyway, I digress because we have a lot to get into, okay? Today's topic is something, first of all, that I have to give a little bit of a disclaimer, okay? The word narcissist or narcissistic has become a little bit of a click word, a little bit of clickbait, right? And obviously, I'm not a doctor, okay? Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not like a psychiatrist. I'm not anybody that can like diagnose somebody as narcissistic. What I am is somebody that has had a lot of personal experience one-on-one in like daily interactions. I was extremely close to somebody that, again, I can't diagnose them as a narcissist, but if you read all the descriptions of something and every single one takes off, I'm just saying maybe, right? On top of that, a lot of my friends growing up had narcissistic parents or siblings. So I'm just like very familiar with this behavior that when I started doing my own research, which is what a lot of this is based on, and my experience, whatever, when I started actually learning about like narcissists and narcissistic tendencies and like whatever, it just started giving me the language. My brain was like, aha! There's a name for this. Gaslighting. Like all these little lights started to go off because again, the behavior was so familiar to me in my life, but I never had the verbiage to explain, that's what this is. That's what you're doing. And when you don't have that education to know like what gaslighting is, you can be getting gaslit for like decades of your life because you just don't know. So my goal always with this podcast, with anything that I do with my music, is kind of just to think about younger me and just think, man, what if I knew like what gaslighting was? What if I was familiar with these terms and I had the signs to look out for? Would I have maybe not been through some of the things that I've been through. So that's the goal here. Had to put that disclaimer out there. And yeah, we're just going to get into it. So today's topic is 5 signs that you're dating a narcissist. I'm interchanging the word dating with like dealing with, because these are just the signs, period, point blank. It doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship. If you're trying to figure out if your best friend is a narcissist, if your parent, if just somebody else in your life, these tips, you would notice them regardless, but I just specifically labeled it for dating because some of them are they're more framed to like figure it out in a dating scenario, if that makes sense. Hold on, taking a sip. Boom, ba. Okay. Number 1, how to know if you're dating a narcissist is they hog the conversation. Now, when I say they hog the conversation is going to be 99% made up about them, right? Or it's going to be a lot about you, but you're not telling the narrative. That one, pick up on it. Pick it up. I dropped it down for you. Pick it up. If this person is constantly talking about you and they're telling stories about you, but you're not the one out of your mouth saying it, you're more so responding, which I'm going to get to that. That's a huge red flag because this person is really trying to manipulate you and get you to think a certain story about yourself. That one's different. But yeah, the first one is that they hog the conversation. A big key in that is that you're just going to notice that you are responding a lot in these conversations or just answering questions. You're not really in control of what's being talked about. It'd be very difficult for you to bring up a subject of any kind. And if you do, very short-lived, very, very short-lived. There's not going to be a lot of like motion into it because they're going to bring the conversation back to them. Now, I wanted to put a little tip in here, a little real life trick, okay, that you could do, okay? So if you think that you are talking to a narcissist, I want you to do this the next time that you're having a conversation, okay? When you guys are talking, I want you to bring up a specific subject about yourself and see if they ask any follow-up questions or if they revert the conversation back to themselves, right? Let's say you bring up, oh, I really love to cook. Now, a proper response to somebody who's engaged in what you're saying is going to be, oh, like, what kind of food do you like to make? What's your favorite meal? How'd you get into cooking? Yada, yada, yada. It's going to be a follow-up question to get you to keep talking, okay? What they're going to do, a lot of times, there's also different types of narcissists. That's what I'm saying. I am not an expert. Because there are some narcissists who will let you talk because they're using that information against you. Again, I'm not like the professional of this. I'm only talking about the kind that I know. And one of the really big flags is that if you're in this conversation, when you bring up that you like cooking, they're going to be like, oh, you like cooking? I know this great chef who owns this restaurant in the city and da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden it gets back into them and who they know and what they can do and how great they are. And it's like, how did we get to like, oh, you're just like friends with everybody when I just brought up that I like cooking? How did it get there? So yeah, that is a really big, this hair in the back, oh my gosh, it's itching. Dear Lord. Anyway, yeah, that's a really big red flag to look out for. They hog the conversation and they're always going to bring it back to them. Okay, moving on, right? Number 2 way that you can know if you are dating a narcissist, okay, is that they feed off of your compliments. And this is something that you'll notice that they might bait you into giving them a compliment where they're constantly talking down on themselves, right? They might say that like, oh, I'm so bad at this, something that they're obviously not bad at, right? Oh man, like I'm just the worst at this, or oh man, like I always just like, I can't pick out clothes, or oh, I always do this, because they're hoping that you say, oh no, what do you mean? You have great outfits. Oh no. Enough. Skirt. Put a stop to it. Put a hole. We are not doing it, okay? Now, there is an importance between understanding the difference between a narcissist and somebody who is just confident, okay? A narcissistic person they're gonna base their sense of self-worth off of your validation of them. Does that make sense? Versus somebody who but they're gonna do that by putting others down. That's really what it is. Because a confident person, they're able to know their worth and stand in that, but they never have to devalue somebody else in order to make them matter, right? A narcissistic person is always going to be tearing down others. They're always going to be tearing down the name of others. They're always going to be trying to tear down your self-worth. We're going to get into that later. It's another little sign. But yeah, they're always tearing others down because it's almost like they got to build up this pile of like disses of people that they can like stand up on and like feel like it means something. So if you just notice that this person is always baiting you for compliments, and again, baiting you for compliments, but also always talking shit about other people. Like that's the biggest weird dichotomies. It's like, you're always looking for compliments from other people, but you never give them out. Right? And it's almost like, babe, like wake up. Like maybe if you were nicer and you gave people compliments, more compliments would come to you more naturally. You wouldn't have to do this weird like baiting and reaching thing. Anyway, I digress. Number 2, boom, we're wrapping it up. Me checking my notes. Okay. Number 3 way to know if you're dating a narcissist is they don't have any long-term friends. Now, this is something that it might take you a little bit to recognize and realize, but start looking for it now, babe. Start looking for it now. Start to like put it in like your head, a little note, just open a little tab in your brain of when he's bringing up his friends, how long has he been friends with them? Like, does he have childhood besties? Does he have a ride or die from the 3rd grade or maybe the 7th grade or maybe at least high school or maybe at least college? If this person like does not have really long-term friends or they're just really secretive about their friends, that's a huge red flag, okay? Because narcissistic people, they're going to go through cycles of people in their life because their personalities are just so confrontational that they end up getting into conflicts with everybody in their life. So it's very common that a narcissistic person will not have long-term relationships in their life. You'll notice that it's like, oh, well, they only knew that person for that long, or they only knew that person for that long. And here's the big kicker. The people that have known them for a long time, you will be kept off limits to them because they know the real them. The people that have known them like for their whole life, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a whatever, that narcissist is going to do whatever they can to keep you and that person very separate because the person who's known them their whole life, they can expose them at any moment, right? Narcissists are always portraying, they're always putting on this really big show, and people that know the truth are very dangerous in that little play that they like to put on because those people, whenever they want, can boom, open up the curtains on their whole facade because they know the truth. Yeah. Wow. That was a whole, I'm gonna just let that sit because dang, right? That was the whole thing. But honestly, it's true. Like when I tell you I've seen it happen, oh man, I can't talk about it, but one of the craziest things you'll ever see in your life. Another little nugget I had was to pay attention to the narratives of how they did fall out with people, right? If they are telling you about maybe somebody that they don't like or an enemy or whatever, pay attention to like why that dynamic stopped working. And was it always the other person's fault, right? Are they able to take accountability? Because as we know, a narcissist will never take accountability. I don't know where that just came from. That was the Holy Spirit. I don't know. That note came for somebody because they will never take accountability. So if you're listening to these narratives and they happen to always be blaming the other person and there is never just oh yeah, I did this. Ooh. Red flag. I gotta get like a little something because look out for that one. Anyway, moving on. Number 4 way to know if you are dating and or dealing with a narcissist. They always like to jokingly pick on you. This one, I know somebody just pops into your head just now. Somebody just pops into your head. You know who you're talking about because here's the thing. If someone is always trying to pass off disrespect as a joke, huh? Because who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? That's not a joke. Ha ha! Nobody's laughing. Nobody's laughing, babe. If it's just you, that's weird. Like, anytime people try to, like, if I'm, like, a party to that, like, if I'm, like, in a group setting and there's a narcissistic person pulling that bullshit on somebody and they're doing, like, the little, oh, they're picking on somebody, I will be that person to be like, wow, that was really weird of you to say out loud. And then the whole tonality of the conversation changes because it's just like, that was strange behavior. Like, I'm so acute to it. I know the little tactics so well that I call it out and I be bold-faced just standing there like, it was giving weirdo. Why did you do that? But yeah, I think a big reason why a narcissistic person is constantly going to be picking on you and joking, right? They're playing it off as a joke, but the real mission, okay, is they need to tear down your self-esteem to build their own self-worth. They have to tear down the self-esteem of everybody around them to make them feel good enough, right? They live in a sense of shame. They live in a sense of, again, just projecting all of these emotions. They keep people in their life with fear. They always need to lower other people's self-esteem because that is what gives them their own sense of self-worth. It's really sad. It's really sad. And another key that I had to, a narcissist always joking at you, always picking at you, is because their mission is always to get a reaction out of you, especially when you are bringing attention to their behavior. They are always going to try to get a reaction out of you. If they're joking and they're picking on you, they want you to flare up. They want you to do something so that if you do say something about it, it's like, whoa, like what's gotten into you today? Like, what's up with you? And it's like, no. You're just sitting here trying to make a whole fool out of me in front of people. No. Cut it off. It's not happening. Guys, if you be on my TikTok lives, you know that the random accents just be popping out when it's real. But yeah, that's a whole point on its own. They like to pick on you in a joking way. They try to pass it off. We all know. And number 5, way to know if you're dating and or dealing with a narcissist is they gaslight you. Now, I wanted to actually read the definition of gaslight because, again, that's like another little clickbait, searchy, trendy word. Gaslighting definition, okay? Using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. That means that this person is intentionally trying to get you to change what you know is true. Somebody can only be gaslighting you when they know something for certain, right? If they're not sure, maybe they have bad memory. No, gaslighting is they know that they cheated, right? They know that they cheated. They know you saw the messages and they will look you in your face and be like, what are you talking about? Somebody hacked my phone. You're crazy. That's gaslighting, right? Because they know what the true reality is and they're trying to warp yours, okay? It's a whole psychological warfare. You got to get like a little light, boom, boom, sue. You got to get a lightsaber, sue, bro. Random tip, Prime should come out with little lightsabers, but the bottom is the bottle. Hire me now. What's good? Send me a DM, Prime. Send me a DM. That's an amazing idea. I might even make one. Anyway, that is it, guys. What an abrupt ending. I already went over my timer, so I don't know how long this is going. I'm filming by myself, and so I don't know how much time is left on the camera. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it at all, if you think that somebody in your life is a narcissist, I'm sending you a big hug. Leave a comment down below. Leave a rating if you're listening, and I will be back next Wednesday with just some more conversations, some more vibes. And hopefully some more things to help us all win, because that's what we're here to do. Well, see you next Wednesday.